Hey guys, I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver. Now, on the last video that we just did, we talked about trying to get your down payment built up and then also making sure that your credit score was ready for you to qualify for a loan. So in this video, we're going to elaborate a little bit more on what it's going to take to get your credit score up to where it needs to be if it's not already. Okay? So, first things first is knowing where the score is coming from. Okay? First part is your payment history. Okay? How well you're paying. If you've got 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late, then that is going to probably hurt your credit score more than anything. So make sure above all else that everything that you've got, student loans, car loans, house loan, credit cards especially, make sure that you pay them on time or a little bit early. Now, beware of credit cards because I've had this personally experience. If you make payments on time regularly, especially if you pay it off each and every month, you bring it back to a zero balance each and every month, they're not making any money off of you. So I've actually seen credit cards change their policy to where they would change your due date from, say, the 15th to the 10th. And then when you make your regular payment, all of a sudden now it's late and they get that little late fee from you. So keep an eye on your bank statements and make sure that your due date doesn't change. Okay? Your payments are actually 35% of your total score. Now your next one is going to be your credit use. Now let's say you've got $1,000 credit card and you've got it completely maxed out. Well, that's 100%. They don't like that. They liked it to have at least 30% or less. Okay, so if you've got $1,000 credit card and you've got $300 balance on it, that's okay. If you got $100 balance on it, that's even better. If it's a zero balance, that's perfect. Okay, so the lower the balance on your credit line or the lower the balance on your account, the better off you are. Now, you can't do anything about car loans, student loans, mortgages, because what you're borrowing is 100%, then you pay it down over time. You can't do anything about that. But a line of credit or a credit card, you can definitely control how much the balance is on those. So try to keep those as low as possible, and those will counteract any of the structured loans that you've got out there that you have no choice but to just make the regular scheduled payments. Okay? Next one is going to be your length of history. That counts for 30%. Your credit use counts for 30%. So you've got payments are 35, use is 30%. Next one is 15%, which is your length of history. So if you've got a mortgage that you've had for 15 years, that shows a long payment history, so that's good for your credit. If you've got a credit card that you just took out 6 months ago, that's not so good. Okay? You want your accounts to at least be 3 years or older. So even if you have a credit card, like I've got one that's a $5,000 limit. I don't use it for very much, but I've had it for 10 years. So that helps my credit score. I'm zero balance, 10 years. I just let it ride, leave it on there, and it helps a little bit. Okay? So that's going to be 15%. 10% of your total score is going to come from the mix of type of accounts that you have. So where a line of credit is a revolving account, credit cards are a revolving account, which means you can pay it down to zero, you can charge it back up, you can pay it down to zero, charge it back up. Student loans, car loans, mortgages, okay, those are amortized loans. Those are straight line loans. They're not revolving. Those you can't do anything about. You just make the regular scheduled payments. If you have some money, extra money at the end of the month, and you want to make an extra principal payment, great. But you want a mix. Your credit score is going to have a little bit of, it's going to carry a little bit of weight on the mix of accounts that you have. So you want both revolving credit and straight line accounts, if possible. Let's go to the next one. All right, so now we're going to get into a few of the new regulations and new parts that have been brought to our attention. And the first one is going to be the buy now, pay later accounts. Now you've got furniture companies, you have lawnmower companies, you have car dealerships, buy now, pay later. Okay, it's been brought to our attention that those accounts are very convenient for you to go ahead and get what you want now and pay later. And you can pay 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, same as cash or zero interest. Problem is, remember what I told you about the longer your credit account you've had it, the better off you are? Well, these are 30 days, 60, 90, 120 days. They're real short. And if they report that to your credit report, your credit bureau, now you're showing a history of an account that's less than 6 months old. It's been opened, it's been run a little while, and then it's closed again for like 6 months, 4 months, whatever. And those are actually going to hurt your credit score because they are short term. So while they very well may be convenient, same day as same as cash and zero interest, is convenient for you, it's actually hurting your credit. So be aware of those if you're going to look into buying something on that kind of a payment arrangement. Be real careful and make sure that they are not reporting it to your credit bureau. Okay, so another part that can help your credit score is your cell phone, your utility bills, and your rent payments. Now this is a part that has been implemented just recently, about a year or so ago. But you need to contact your credit bureau, and you can apply to have other bills that you pay added to your credit report to help boost your final score. So things like your cell phone bills, your utility bills, and your rent payments. As long as they're on time and they showing in good standing, then you can actually apply to have those added to your credit score or credit profile to build up your credit report. Now, once you've had your credit score built up enough, you can go back to the bank and you can start talking about getting your loan set up. Now, different loan programs have different requirements. For example, you can apply for, and this is the current figures that we've been told recently, is if you have a credit score of 580 or higher, FHA can approve you as long as everything else is all in line with the criteria that they need. They will accept a 580 credit score, but you're also going to get charged a higher interest rate. Now, if you need to do a conventional loan, which is you're paying 80% or 20%, and they're loaning you 80% of the purchase price of the house, they require a 620. Okay, so you need to get your credit score up above a 620. And then, of course, if you want the best interest rates, most banks are going to require you to have at least a 720 or better to get the best interest rates that are available at the time that you apply for your loan. Alright, so I hope this helps a little bit. Again, make sure that you're putting away at least 10% of everything that comes into the house. Sock it away, put it somewhere where you can't touch it, and build up your down payment, build up your savings. Keep working on your credit score. There again, you can go to Annual Credit Report or Credit Karma, and you're allowed to get a credit report at least every 6 months, I believe it is. You won't get your credit score. You can pay for that if you want to. But the main thing that you're looking for is your credit report. So make sure to keep working on your credit score. If you have any questions, or if you've gotten up to the point where you're ready to start buying a house, give us a call here, 478-256-9877, and I'll talk to you on the next one.